Hello, welcome back to another Star Citizen video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Starfarer. Starfarer is an absolutely enormous ship. It's not a combat ship, but it is one of my favorite ships. So what's happening right now is we have spawned the ship, but we have to back up until we are out of the ship's box before it will spawn. It says that it's blocked, even though we would be safely under it. Just to give you an idea how massive it actually is. The Starfarer is a fuel transport / refinery ship. You can see that we are walking underneath the fuel refinery tanks, or fuel transport tanks. They haven't gotten into the specifics about what equipment is for what. So, while I am looking forward to using the Starfarer as a fuel refinery / transport, you'll see that there's a lot more that this ship can do. First off, we're here in the cargo hold, and you can transport a tremendous amount of solid cargo. This massive cargo hold. Although the Starfarer has a max crew capacity currently listed as 7, you'll see that there are actually 12 seats down here in the cargo bay. These seats are not currently functional. Who knows if they will become functional at a later time or if they will remove them. Moving on from the cargo bay, we're going to head down this hallway through this airlock door. In this next room, there are 2 escape pods, a little first aid kit, and then a docking collar style airlock. Hopefully, as the game progresses, you'll be able to attach smaller ships or even some other bigger ships to the bottom of the Starfarer and transfer crew and cargo in a secure and sealed environment. Alright, so now we're going to walk around the ship a little bit more just to get a feel for where everything is back in the cargo bay. We're going to follow this path up to the second level of the ship. Up these stairs, you'll find another airlock. This is airlock number 1. This leads out to a causeway that goes out to all of the fuel tanks. So you can see this is open. You are no longer inside the ship. If you were in outer space, this would be vacuum. You can walk down the causeway. You can look out behind the ship. You can see the rear-facing turrets. Each one of the tanks has a little screen. Hopefully later on you'll be able to interact with those, view your fuel levels or other information. Okay, we're going to head back into the ship. This is a feature that I think is a little bit weird. Here is an elevator. When this elevator is down, the ship is open to the vacuum. So this room right here, it does have doors, but it doesn't really feel like an airlock. That elevator is a little bit weird to me. You're actually able to lower the elevator and open the door, which presumably you'd want to do if you were trying to vent some of these more important rooms, the grav room or the engine room. I'm not sure which is which. I know that one is one and the other is the other. So there they are. So important rooms when boarding a ship, you'd want to come in, turn off the gravity, come in, disable the engines so that you could capture the ship. There are some great places to hide that aren't really on a path to anywhere. You could wait back there and ambush somebody. More escape pods. Down this hallway, this leads to the rear-facing turret. Not a great view on these turrets. I think the main purpose of these turrets is just area denial. You're firing, you're making sure that ships that are chasing the Starfarer can't just follow in a straight line and shoot you. You're going to make them jink, you're going to make them move, hopefully so they don't get as many shots on you. I don't think these turrets, this one or the one across the way, are really for engaging in combat. Okay, so back into the ship. We're going to look at some of the engineering pathways. There are some cool places, really thematic places where I think it would be amazing if you were ambushed by some kind of a space alien, like a xenomorph or something. I mean, this tunnel just screams facehugger to me. Well, this passageway doesn't really go anywhere, but there are passageways like this on both sides of the ship that will let you bypass other areas of the ship, get to places in a roundabout way. If the ship is being boarded, if there's a fire, or if you are a boarder and you're sneaking around the ship, maybe you'd want to use these passageways. So you have to duck down and actually crawl on your belly to get through this one. If you were a facehugger, you would just run right through. So you can use those tunnels to access other parts of the ship. You could have gotten here just going through that door, but it's a little bit more fun to go through the creepy orange hallway. So we're going to head up this ladder to the top turret and the crew quarters. So just up through this next door. In here, this is the top turret. So you go, you sit down, just like any other turret, it takes you up. This is a fairly large turret with some big guns. Decent field of view, except with the Starfarer. I think you're mostly going to be shooting at things that are in the distance in front of you, which is a little bit obstructed just by how big the ship is. Alright, so we're going to head through this next door into the kitchen. Here you can see the dining table. This is where you can eat your beef and bell peppers. Over here we actually have the kitchen where you will prepare your food. Unfortunately, you will notice there is no coffee maker. So that's one thing that the Redeemer has on the Starfarer, is that there is no coffee maker in the Starfarer. Okay, next we're going to see the captain's chambers. So this room is really cool. There's a table. It's not a station yet. Hopefully it becomes a station where you can actually command from your room if you aren't on the bridge. It's a very large room for how big the ship is. May not have a coffee maker, but here is our space wine cooler here in the captain's quarters. Over here, a window out into another part of the ship, directly adjacent from the bed with the space blanket. I know a lot of people got the Starfarer specifically for the space blanket, so take a good look. Moving on from the space blanket, here is the open bathroom with a space sink and some space towels, along with the shower toilet combo. It's what we've all been missing in our lives. So we're going to head from the captain's room over to the crew quarters. One thing that I really like about the Starfarer is there are beds for everyone. Some other ships, they'll say that they have a crew of 5 and then they'll have 3 beds. This one says it has a crew of 7. I got the captain's bed plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 beds in here. At the end of the room, there's a little bench and bathrooms. A pair of bathrooms with sink and the shower toilet combo. Other bathroom, very much the same sink, shower toilet combo. Alright, so at this point, we've seen most of the ship. I'm going to go ahead and run on over to the cockpit. Now from where we are, it's a little bit of a trip. The cockpit actually isn't that hard to get to from outside, but we were walking around the whole ship seeing a lot of things first. So this is that elevator that we took up. We're going to go ahead and just use the ladder and up the ladder. So you can see there are arrows on the floor in case you get lost. We're going to go ahead back down these stairs back into the main cargo bay. So if you come into the ship, this is the room that you would be coming into. There's that door, that main door into the ship. So, but we're going to go back up through here into this room. There's a little kiosk that hopefully you can manage your cargo. This is a hallway that goes into the cockpit. You can see escape pods line the walls so that if the ship is taking damage, your crew can get away quickly. Okay, now this whole time I've been saying cockpit. I'm not sure that cockpit is the right word here. I would use the word bridge. So you have these support seats in the back, you have a co-pilot seat, a pilot seat, and then you have a captain seat back here where you can get your Picard on. At this point, I don't think it's so much of a cockpit as it is a bridge. You sit here, you tell people what to do as the captain. You're not necessarily actually flying the ship yourself. Unfortunately, As of right now, there's not a lot that you can do in the seat, so flying a Starfarer, you're going to spend most of your time over in one of these seats. Now the field of view in the Starfarer is pretty bad. It's a big transport refueling ship, and so dogfighting and a great view isn't what it's about, but it is a pretty bad view, especially when you are looking around trying to find some weird nav point and you have to rotate the ship around. In the default locked forward view, you can't see a lot of your instruments, so you're probably going to be hitting that Z key a lot to look at some of those sensors, or relying on the other people in the bridge to tell you what's going on. Rather than walk out of the ship, we're just going to go ahead and beam back into the Grey Cat, just to show you how big, again, that cargo bay is. So driving the Grey Cat up the ramp. Sometimes the Grey Cat gets stuck right on the top, so you have to pick up a little bit of speed. I would just like you to know this is how I drive in real life. So I apologize to everyone who lives in my city. So as you can see, you can park the Grey Cat. There's lots of space in here. Definitely would be able to fit any of the bikes. Hopefully they put landing spaces so that you can auto land and it can lock without trouble and blowing your ship up when you try to fly. As well as maybe some of those other rovers. Maybe even an Ursa. I don't really know exactly how big it is. If it could get through the door though, it could definitely fit here in the cargo bay. Well, that's the Starfarer. Hopefully you've enjoyed this walkthrough of the ship. I know there are other walkthroughs out there, so thank you for watching this one. If you liked it, go ahead and click that like button. This is the second of these videos that I've made in a short while, so if you want, you can click subscribe. I don't really have any other videos. I will be posting a link to my referral code if you are interested in Star Citizen. It is a very exciting game. I'm very excited for it. You can use that referral code to get stuff for you, get stuff for me. Everyone will be happy. Thank you for watching, and see you in the verse.